in danger of losing water.
You feel so helpless.
Service at this Aurora apartment building just days away from being shut off.
It's really scary, and I could wake up Friday with no water.
Tonight, residents are reaching out to contact Denver 7.
You've heard about equipping first responders with Narcan, but what about pizza employees?
When asking them if they wanted to receive the training, it was almost a unanimous yes, absolutely.
A Denver business now training its workers to help stop overdoses.
The best view comes after the hardest climb.
I never, thought of myself as an inspiration.
The Colorado woman reaching Colorado's highest peaks despite a life-changing illness.
That really encourages me to get outside and stay active.
In the hot days of summer, not having running water can be dangerous.
And that's a real threat for people at an Aurora apartment complex. Residents at Malibu Manor reached out to contact Denver 7 after learning their water could be shut off by the end of this week because the building has not completed tests to make sure that water's safe.
Contact Denver 7's Colette Bordelon found out building management was warned several times before it got to this point.
It's called the Malibu Manor, but residents of the Aurora apartment complex don't believe the building lives up to its name.
It's been really disappointing.
Jamila Anderson says she's lived here for a few months and has had a number of issues, but the latest problem is one she couldn't ignore.
I just rely on a, water filter system that attaches to my sink, and I drink from the tap.
She's scared of what could be in the water she's been drinking.
So this is the one letter that the entire building received.
After this notice from Aurora Water saying they would be turning off the entire building's water later this week because certain health and safety tests had not been completed.
It's really scary, and the scariest part is, had my neighbor not told me about it, I would have no idea. And I could wake up Friday with no water and no explanation.
We called the property management company, and the woman who answered confirmed she was the landlord, but nothing more.
So they were saying that their water is going to be shut off on Friday. Can you confirm that?
I'm not giving any information. Thank you for calling.
Those with Aurora Water tell us they've been trying to reach the property management company to get the annual tests scheduled for nearly 6 months.
5 different letters and several emails, and they did not respond to them. Well, we need to let the tenants know that they may be out of water.
Greg Baker with Aurora Water says the test they needed to get done is on a cross-connection device, which prevents water from flowing back into the system from the boiler.
Boilers quite often have chemicals, anti-corrosive chemicals, chemicals to help with the hardness in the water so it doesn't scale inside the boiler.
Safe water, a standard Anderson believes everyone should have.
She needs clean water too.
Colette Bordelon, Denver 7.
And after we called the landlord, Anderson says residents got a text saying the water will not be shut off Friday and that the tests have been scheduled. Well, Aurora Water, however, says that is, quote, highly unlikely the tests have been scheduled yet because their office closes at 3:30 and that text went out about 5 o'clock or so. So I assure you we will be checking in with Aurora Water first thing in the morning. And if you ever have a story or an issue you want the Contact Denver 7 team to look into, very easy to reach them. Email contact7@denverchannel.com, or you can call the number there on your screen.
A search is underway tonight for 3 suspects in a deadly shooting in Commerce City. It happened just after 2 a.m. outside a home near 54th and Leiden. Police say a group of 3 men confronted 2 other men before shooting one of them. That man died at the hospital. He has not yet been identified. Today we spoke with neighbors who say they're in shock.
I got really scared because literally it's on my neighborhood.
Quiet, very quiet. Everyone stays in their space. It's peaceful. Never any action, so something like this really stands out.
Police say after the shooting, the suspect stole the victim's pickup truck. It's a maroon 2003 Chevy Silverado with an extended cab and a lift kit. It has a Colorado license plate of APHT32. If you have any information about what happened or if you've seen that pickup truck, contact police.
Well, tonight we're waiting for answers in a deadly police shooting in Inglewood. It happened Sunday night. The department says officers were responding to a disturbance at a home on South Grove Street, and they were met with gunfire. Officers fired back, leaving a 22-year-old man dead. This afternoon, police announced they have arrested Philip L. Blankenship for his role in the shooting at police. However, they did not give information about the man who was killed, including his name. Now, Blankenship is being held on first-degree attempted murder. The officers involved in the shooting are on standard leave, and the 18th Judicial District's Critical Incident Response Team now is investigating.
The man at the center of last Sunday's Denver police shooting will make his first court appearance tomorrow. Police say Jordan Waddy flashed a gun at officers early last Sunday morning in lower downtown. 3 officers fired 7 total shots at Waddy, who was near a crowd of people. Waddy was shot, but 6 bystanders were also injured as a result of the shooting. Waddy is charged with 3 counts of possession of a weapon by a previous offender and 1 count of third-degree assault. Waddy is expected to appear in court at 9:30 tomorrow morning.
Well, news tonight, Denver City Council has okayed nearly $850,000 to help fight drug trafficking. The money comes via a grant agreement with the U.S. Office of National Drug Control Policy. The funding over a 2-year period will support federal initiatives now to cut down on drug trafficking here in the Denver area.
Fentanyl is having an unprecedented effect on communities all around Colorado. Law enforcement and lawmakers are taking the drug's prevalence and potency seriously, trying to warn people one pill can kill.
And even some businesses now are trying to do their part to prevent overdose. Denver 7's Megan Lopez introduces us to a restaurant training its staff to spot and stop overdoses.
I got a large pepperoni. We are at the Sexy Pizza Park Hill location here at 2846 Fairfax Street.
Between the funny name and silly stickers, it's not hard to get caught up in the quirky ways of Sexy Pizza. This pizza shop not afraid of being different, but the one thing they're really good at.
Well, with the name Sexy Pizza, definitely pizza.
For all the fun and food that happens here, there was that one really scary moment a few years ago.
It was, a little after 5 p.m. on a Friday. A couple came in, one person ordered food, the other person asked to use the restroom, and they've been in there for a while. So we use our other backup key, knock on the door to let him know we're entering, and then he finds this person on the floor.
They were overdosing. Luckily, a quick call to 911 was able to save that person's life.
Through that, it was kind of an eye-opening experience for us.
And ever since then, co-owner Kyle Peters has been thinking a lot about social responsibility. So he decided to take a different approach.
So we just have it with all the rest of the stuff, and then just right in here.
Stocking the restaurants with Narcan to reverse the effects of an overdose.
2 more right there that we keep on hand.
And training staff on how to use it with the help of the Harm Reduction Action Center.
When asking them if they wanted to receive the training, it was almost a unanimous yes, absolutely.
It's certainly not that they're promoting drug use, but they're also not naive about it. They just want to be prepared, and Narcan itself is easy to use.
It's really just like this, put it up somebody's nostril, press it, and it sprays into their nose. The training is more specific to identifying an overdose itself. And blue lips, blue face, not breathing.
So maybe Sexy Pizza is a little different. Maybe it's even a little quirky. But the way that Peter sees it, this is about social responsibility and saving lives.
The more businesses and community members that are educated and trained, or even just carrying Narcan, is only going to then spread the message that much more and help continue to keep our communities that much safer.
Megan Lopez, Denver 7.
Sexy Pizza says it's planning 2 more training sessions for employees next month in partnership with the Harm Reduction Action Center. They hope other businesses will consider doing the same.
This week will mark exactly 7 months since the Marshall Fire destroyed more than 1,000 homes across Boulder County. One of the areas devastated by the flames, the Sagamore neighborhood in Superior. Tonight, the Superior Town Council passed a first reading for changes in building codes in that neighborhood. The new standards did not apply to fire victims, only new residents. They focus on non-combustible building materials. Windows would have to be constructed with multi-layer glass. Vents would need a mesh covering to prevent flames or embers from getting inside. Outside, there would need to be a 5-foot zone around the house with no trees or shrubs. Fences would also have to be non-combustible. And there's a new resource ready to help Marshall Fire victims. The Recovery Navigators offer short and long-term support to those impacted by the fire. Navigators will work with families on things like financial resources for rebuilding, referrals to insurance providers, and mental health services. Appointments can be set up by emailing the address on your screen, and you can also reach out by phone.
Well, football and fashion go together, right? They really do if you are Russell Wilson and Sierra. The couple and a whole lot of friends and fans showed up at Park Meadows Mall tonight for the opening of their new store, the House of LR&C. There was a party atmosphere inside, music and dancing, clothing for men, women, and children. Now, Russell and Sierra described the venture as a team effort, and Speaking of teams,
are you ready for him to go back to work? You know what? I'm excited. It's always bittersweet because this is when he gets like in it, wrapped up in the zone and lost in it, but I support that. I'm excited for him. I think it's going to be an amazing chapter. Denver's been phenomenal so far. At home, it's been amazing. The fans have been amazing. And as Russ would say, I'm ready to ride. Let's ride. I'm excited for him.
we're all excited. So Russell will begin his very first Broncos training camp Wednesday. And Lionel, Nick, and the Denver 7 sports team will have all of your training camp coverage each night right here on Denver 7.
And the new store, not the only big thing Russell Wilson and Sierra did today. Their Why Not You Foundation is partnering with Centura Health to contribute $500,000 annually to local and regional nonprofits. Groups that will receive funds will focus on health equity, education, food security, social justice, and support for children and youth.
We did manage 90 today. Coming up, I'll tell you which day won't even hit 80 degrees.
Reaching the top. A Colorado woman tackling our state's highest mountains and inspiring others along the way.
Plus, it was a celebration Colorado won't soon forget. And tonight, Avs star Nate McKinnon sharing what he remembers from the Stanley Cup Parade.